No, no, no. Don't be fooled by this main menu. You haven't accidentally loaded up Netflix looking for the new season of Stranger Things. You've actually bought Battlefield 6. Now, the first challenge this game throws at you isn't really what you'd expect it to be. You know, you've just loaded the game up and you want to fine-tune your settings like any sane human being. However, this is a test to see if you are cut out to play this game, because finding half of these settings requires a master's degree in cryptology. Let's say you want to change your controller sensitivity, pretty simple thing, right? Wrong. This setting is not located within the controller section, it's actually in the gameplay section, and this is just because they want to weed out the TikTok addicted kids and their 3-second attention spans. Now, after you have either ignored all of these settings or spent an hour fine tuning them using the firing range, you will be wanting to jump into some actual gameplay. You have a wide variety of multiplayer modes, ranging from your smaller team deathmatches to your King of the Hill to your all-out war modes like Conquest. You also have a custom game browser for community-made content, which is just shooting bots and shipment, and a campaign which IGN gave a 5 out of 10, so probably avoid that one. Personally, I think Conquest is the go-to game mode for Battlefield, as it provides a great deal of variety in every game and shows you everything that the game offers. But before you spawn in, you need to pick a class, and each class has a different playstyle and equipment and a proficiency, which basically means that they can just use a weapon better than any other class. But you can also use any weapon on any class, but I don't do that because I'm a purist. Now, first off is Assault. The idea here is that you attack and defend objectives, take space, and just sort of generally shoot people. You're better at using assault rifles than other classes, and you have access to the shotgun, which is the greatest weapon in the game. Honestly, if you just hold down an objective with the shotgun, you'll get 50 plus kills a game, and receive a year's supply of death threats in record time. You also have a stim shot to help you heal faster, and other equipment like a ladder, which is bouncy, and varying grenade launchers. Secondly, you have the Engineer, which is my favourite class because you truly do a bit of everything. You support your teammates' vehicles by repairing them, but also destroying the other team's vehicles. Remember, when you're destroying other team's vehicles, you must hit them from the back. They are weak from the back, so flank them wherever possible. You are proficient with the SMG, and you have all the tools required to destroy any vehicle you may come across. This role sort of plays like you're doing everything. You're running around healing your team's vehicles, capturing objectives, and destroying enemy vehicles. And you sort of just have to keep in mind the game becomes a lot more fun when your team aren't getting farmed by tanks, helicopters, and fighter jets. Third is the LMG Proficient Support class. This one sort of does what you expect. You refill ammo and health for your team, you throw down trophy systems to deny opposing equipment, but most importantly you have a defibrillator to resurrect fallen comrades. Now, this doesn't mean you should just revive someone instantly when they've been mowed down in a doorway by 7 people, as you're just spawning them into instant death and they will not be pleased. Knowing who and when to revive is the important skill for this class, and it's something that you learn over time pretty quickly, to be honest. Finally, you either have your most loved or most hated class, the Recon. This is the sniper rifle class, and it'll either be the bane of your existence or your best friend, as it can either provide useful gameplay by tagging enemy vehicles so the engineer knows where they are, or you can be doing 360 no-scopes off the tallest building trying to go viral on TikTok. This class can spot enemies, it has a motion sensor to detect anybody flanking, and it synergizes with the engineer remarkably well if you're tagging vehicles, but a bad recon is very noticeable and nobody wants to be flamed for going 1 and 18 and providing no support for the team. Now, you've picked your class and you've loaded into a game. The real fun begins here, and let me tell you, it is remarkably fun. But on my screen there's all these floating letters. What do they mean? Well, they're the objectives, so, those who are from a pub stomping background in Call of Duty may lead you to believe that the objective is bad and you should avoid it like the plague. But they're idiots and they're wrong. Capturing and holding these little zones will lead your team to victory. You and your squad of friends, or randomly assigned teammates, depending on if you have friends, We'll be periodically given objectives that are sort of just priorities to attack or defend certain points throughout the game, and it's just sort of the game's way of making sure that you know the objective exists, and it gives you something to work towards. You know, maybe you've just captured the enemy zone, or the zone next to the enemy's headquarters, and you're wondering, how should you defend it? Just sit there and wait for the enemies to come, right? Well, that will lead you to be more surrounded than Bonnie Blue on a Saturday night, so it's actually wiser to hold the point dynamically. Push up, take space, cut off angles to the objective. It makes it so much easier to hold, especially if you have a vehicle. Nobody wants to run out of vehicle. This game also has bloom when you're shooting at people, meaning at longer ranges your bullets don't quite go where you're aiming. This might seem annoying at first, but I promise you'd be more annoyed by being lasered across the map by a 100-round LMG every life. Just remember, tap firing is your friend at long ranges, although it is currently bugged, so nothing is really your friend currently. After playing a few games, you will get a feel for that and sort of the whole game dynamic. You'll know when to stick with your team, or when you should flank and clear an area. You'll become much more familiar with the vehicles and how they work, and you might even become a vehicle main, who is your thankless hero who goes 30 capturing objectives for fun, or runs into every anti-tank man on the map and has to discuss that with their therapist every week. After this point, it is entirely up to you how you play the game. Just remember that this is its own franchise, and no amount of moaning on Twitter will get the devs to remove the vehicles.